Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Patty. I missed all of you. I hope you're doing good. I needed to come on and talk. There's stuff going on in the Summer Wells case. And so I need to come on here and talk tonight. I hope everybody's doing good. You know, I had a good Christmas and a good New Year's, except for it was pretty hard and sad because my dog died. And I know some of my subscribers have heard my dog snoring or making noise in the background. But yeah, he had kidney failure, and it was really hard, watching him go through that. So I lost my dog, and that was hard because we had him for like 10 years, and he was like our good friend. So yeah, that was pretty tough. And so I haven't really been on here that much. Just a lot going on in my own life. But I hope everybody did have a good Christmas and a good New Year's. I hope all of you are doing well. I know there's like a million. I can't believe how many creators are out there now talking about Summer Wells. I think it's a great thing. I really do, because those of us who truly care about Summer Wells want to see her name put out there, want to see her talked about, and not stop until something gets done and she gets found. That's why a lot of these cases go cold, is because nobody cares enough to keep it going, and we're keeping it going. And I know they don't like the TBI and the Sheriff's Department. I don't know what they think of people like us. I mean, I've heard a few things, but you know what? We are keeping her name alive. We are keeping it out there, and that is very important, okay? So I just want to talk about a few things tonight, and I just want to give a disclaimer that, anything that I show you on here, I will give credit to whoever it is. Also, I want to give a trigger warning because there's some things that I'm going to discuss tonight that might be triggering to some of you. And so I will go on from here. But anyways, so we all know that, I don't know if you ever heard the song by Eminem, Shady's back. Well, Don's back, and he's already starting to bother people on YouTube and trying to get in good with the creators, trying to get money, talking about he needs $10,000 to get his boys back. And I pray to God that Don and Candace don't get those boys back. That's not a good home. Drugs, pedophiles, and registered sex offenders running in and out of the house, kids doing drugs, all kinds of abuse. People called in. We already know all this. This is nothing new to most of you. I talk about this on my channel all the time, but why would Protective Services ever give them children back to Don and Candace? No. I'm sorry, you guys lost so many children already before. You failed as parents. If you really loved your kids, Don, you wouldn't have been drinking and driving and got put in jail. If you really loved your kids, Don, you wouldn't have been being mean to your wife and domestic abuse. If you really loved your kids, Don, you shouldn't have been saying to Dudley and different people that you were afraid you were going to go to prison for beating your kids, and that you had bad dreams about this. If you were a really good parent, Don, and you really cared about those kids, about Summer, and about those boys, you would have did something a long time ago. But you and Candace were very selfish in your drug addict, in your drunken ways, and you didn't care about the safety of those kids. You've confessed to many things. You've already said things, Don. And You know, you've been in jail your whole entire life. You've been in prison your whole life, Don. in and out, and Candace has a record too. And you already had protective services against you before this even happened to Summer. This was just a continuation. And I have a feeling that Summer Wells was trafficked. And I think Don knows all about it. And Candace, I think she knows about it. So if she doesn't know about it, then she was tricked by Don. But anyways, what I want to say is all these creators cracking cases with Cam, Benny Keys, Chasing Truth, Daisy, all these people are feeling so sorry for Don and talking about how he's innocent and he couldn't have done these things. And they're making excuses for Don like they normally do. And, I think Cam, the Bible says that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And all of you, really, one minute you're saying things about Don and Candace, and the next minute you're their friends and thinking they're innocent. Just like Benny. He's been saying crap about them and talking how he felt that they were guilty, and yet look at now. Yeah, he feels bad. All of you feel bad. All you crazy creators out there that feel bad for Don and Candace Wiles and they actually think that they're innocent and that they didn't do anything wrong. Well, I don't believe that for a minute, and we know the truth. And so people who follow those channels, I'm sorry, but I think you're crazy. Because you're following people who are supporting and helping people that could be child killers, child abusers, for a fact. We already know this. So you're supporting these. Don's own sister, and you can believe Don or you can believe his sister, but I was so mad at Cam. I heard him talking, oh, well, Mary came out with this, and Don really didn't admit to anything. He just said that they played house, and he said that they played house. Touchy-feely is what he said, and that is a crime. Sexually touching a child, a minor, and if you're older, I hate to tell you, Cam, it's a crime. And people who support these kind of people who do these kind of things, it says a lot about your character that, maybe you want to defend them because maybe you got something going on in your own life and you protect those kind of people. You protect abusers. You are not helping Summer Wells by standing up for her daddy or her mama or helping them in any way. And you mislead your people on your channel. One minute you're saying one thing, the next minute you're saying another thing. And I watched the comments on your video. I seen how people were saying things like, I can't believe you right now, Cam. You were just saying this and you were just saying that. And now you're going to stick up for Don and Candace. And that's exactly what they do. And I'm just not going to pull any punches here. I know that he does this. And if you want to watch that channel, that's totally up to you. But I'm saying to you that Don is a manipulator and he's a criminal. He's been a criminal for many, many years. And he knows how to lie and he knows how to scam. But I want to talk about a couple things tonight that I need to show you and I need to talk about. Now, if you've been keeping an eye on the Summer Wells case, there's been a video out, and you've probably seen it, and it's this video right here.
He was smiling hands, Shema.
Now, I just want to stop her right here and say to you that the person on the other line sounds exactly like Marlena Crawford. This is not a 911 call, but she is calling, it sounds like her friend Marlena, to tell her about what's going on. And in this video, Carl says that from Enchanted Life Path, he says that it sounds like she's saying he's trying to rape my daughter. He's trying to rape, her dad. And it really does sound like that in this. So let me just go on. He's trying to rape her. What's going on? He's trying to rape her.
What?
What's going on?
What?
Yep, he's trying to rape her. And she says her dad. So I can make this out. I don't know what other people are saying about this because I haven't watched too many videos, just Carl's. And I seen this, and I was quite shocked. And so we can't really, I don't know what you can prove from this video, but it truly sounds like Candace is saying he's trying to rape her. And it sounds like she's saying, "Can you hear me?" And Marlena says, "Yes, what's going on?" And she says, her dad, he's trying to hurt my daughter. He's trying to rape her or something like that, which it sounds really like that. I know they turned this into TBI. I just wondered what everybody thought about this video, what you were thinking about it, and if you have any comments, please share with me your opinions in your comments, because I would really like to know. I'm trying to keep up on the Summer Wells case, but there's a lot of things that I miss because I don't watch all these videos all the time. So anyways, that was that, and I want to discuss that. And if that is the case, that is really sick, that is really terrible, and that is really scary and awful if that is the truth. If Don Wells was trying to rape his daughter, so that would be very bad. So yeah, let's go down here. I want to talk about this for a minute. So I come across this video, and so I just want to talk about a couple things from it. Hold on here. It says, what happened to Summer Wells? Please watch to the end, LTL. So I just want you to see this for a minute, and you may have already, but I want to discuss a couple things on this video, and this person did a great job on this video, by the way.
And out the country's, police force and all these other outfits here, they can't find her. And they're powerless to find her. But God knows where she's at. And I have to put my full faith in Him.
So what you meant by that was just you're putting your faith in God and that she's going to be okay.
This is, she took this from Jay is for Justice.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that she's going to be okay, because she could be anywhere. It's hard. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a parent's faith and what they do might impact God's judgment in the end, no matter what.
Do you hear that? What the parents do might impact God's judgment.
Your children go through.
What'd you do, Don?
Say, for instance, one of your kids overdoses on drugs or something, that's tough.
Isn't that something right there? Let's just back it up a minute and watch that again.
Hey, because she could be anywhere. It's hard. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Okay, watch. Listen.
I'd say a parent's faith and what they do might impact God's God's judgment in the end, no matter what one of your children go through. I mean, say for instance one of your kids overdoses on drugs or something, you know.
I hope that your child didn't overdose on drugs or something, Don.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough situation.
Absolutely.
But I think God will consider, hopefully, what your parents do and what, you know, stuff like that, hopefully. Because what if she is forced to do drugs and it grows up in this negative way or this negative country or who knows what? And
You know, I want to say something right here. Don is acting like he really cares as a parent. You know, what if she is forced to do drugs? Are you kidding me right now, Don Wells? You were doing drugs in front of your children. Your wife was doing drugs in front of your children, and I believe even your grandest, your mother-in-law. And from what I understand, from many witnesses, those kids were smoking weed and drinking. Because I've heard, and doing drugs, I've heard it from Dudley. We heard it from all kinds of people, Jody Sue, different ones. So, Don, you are not going to tell us that we should feel bad for you, you know, that you didn't get to, you know, whatever, take care of Summer. But you were doing all these bad things in front of her, and she definitely probably would have been into drugs and alcohol if she continued to live with you and Candace. And that's a fact.
you know, if she gets killed or whatever, she's not in the church. I wasn't
Not in the church.
like I wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, check this out.
So it's killed me since she's been gone. You know, it's just, at first, it was just so horrific knowing that someone abducted her and the cops are looking all around her house, knowing that she's not there. You know, it's like you just looking to yourself, you know, and this ain't doing no good. But, you know, I wish the police they would have blocked off both ends of Beach Creek and everything else and kept it contained in our area, because I'm sure she's hundreds of miles away.
Okay, so Don wants to say this. She could be 100 miles away. He wished they would have blocked the roads. Really, Don? You and Candace waited. She was already missing because we heard from Leslie Earhart at TVI that Summer went missing earlier, and you guys were out searching for her and looking for her. So you should have called the police instantly so that they could have blocked the roads, but you didn't do that. So you act like, you know, the police did wrong and they didn't save your child. Well, let me tell you, if Summer would have walked, somebody would have came up on your property, them dogs would have barked. And Candace, if she was home, she would have known. Summer's not a little baby. She is old enough to scream and holler. She knows how to run. She's the boss of the house. Remember, Candace and Don, you said that she's the boss of the house. And she hits and rules those boys. So don't tell me that you're not going to hear her disappear. And another thing, Candace, you know, I'm sorry. I was just going to say something. Now I lost track of what I was going to say. No. Oh, you were out driving around, you say, looking for Summer. Instantly. As soon as you didn't find her in the basement, you went running out. Well, how fast is somebody going to get away from you in 2 minutes, Candace? 2 minutes. You were outside hollering, and the boys, supposedly, they were outside searching, which we know. Because we know that you were home searching because Jody Sue said you were home searching. And so was she. And I still find that situation, I'm sorry, Jody Sue, I find that strange. But anyways, let me say something about, okay, well, no, I'm going to keep going here.
You know, I can't blame them or whatever, but I'm upset.
Yeah, right,
really
Dad.
Upset, you know. But it's too little, too late now. I mean, maybe my kids are looking at it like, well, maybe.
Let me put the words on here. Maybe you can hear it better. Okay, maybe.
God will bring her back, or I don't know.
I didn't hit it hard enough.
Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a good chance she's already dead if you look at it statistically.
Oh, well, she's got it on the screen.
And I hate to think that I love her with all my heart.
Do you still believe? Do you believe that she's still alive? Do you have any intuition that she might still be out there somewhere?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is, I believe in God. I don't believe in any psychic stuff.
Oh man, that stuff's horrible that they've had on. I've seen it on YouTube.
Tell me about that. Well, when I come back from Utah, I was trying to move my family to Utah. I've always knew that something was going to happen this summer. Something in my gut has always told me, and I've always told Candace, watch her closely. That's my baby. Do not let nothing happen to her. I told her that all the time. What brought you to that thought? I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was. Or I just always had this feeling that something's going to happen to her. I didn't know if she was just going to get accidentally run over. I didn't know what it was. Did you think she would be kidnapped? Never, not like that. Okay. No, I just knew it was something. I just had this intense love for her, and I think she knew something too. I think something was, I don't know if you believe in guardian angels or what, but there's something. There's something. Sure. Time is of the essence. Could she still be alive in your heart? I pray for that, and I hope. On a scale of 1 to 10.
It's hard to see this. There's a glare.
It's one or the other because of the four dreams. To me, it's either someone that's got money, has her somewhere. I've seen her on Facebook and feel sorry for her, whatever reasoning is, or her to get rid of evidence.
Hurt her to get rid of the evidence?
Her last thoughts.
And then, wow.
So do you think they would have hurt her or they would have sold her? I think they probably would. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. Well, I wish I knew who would buy a kid. I wish I knew that. I really do.
Okay, Don. You guys, who would buy a kid? First of all, we know from your sisters, this is way before you even said this and talked about this. We know from your sisters that you tried to supposedly sell your child, your firstborn, for drugs. We also know that you have said multiple times that you've been in many places that sell kids and traffic kids. So you know exactly where these places are and what goes on there. But now you're going to play dumb with Chris McDonough in this and say that you really, really wish you knew where you could buy a kid. Okay, Don.
Me too. Oh, surely God.
I have a note here. When I talked to him on July 28th, I'm reading out of my notebook. Immediately, he said, I believe she's been killed and buried somewhere after being abducted. Now, then when I first heard that on July 28th of 2021, which is less than, 4 weeks away from when she was went missing.
Real shortly.
My
couple
experience
weeks.
kicked in and said, he knows. He knows something. Now, what we've all been grappling with for the last year is what that something is. But what I have been dealing with is, and like you, and on this channel anyway, is the facts in relationship to how they were presented. So I knew they were searching around the top of the house, so I drove immediately down to the bottom of the property, figuring that they probably hadn't looked down there yet. That's the first place I went, down all the way down to the creek. And when I seen my boys down by the creek, all three of them together, and I seen my neighbor coming around the other side of our hill to my left, I knew at that point that Summer had been abducted, or Summer was not around, because she would never leave from around the house. So I turned the car around and drove. I don't know if I looked in the shed at that time or not, that little shed at the bottom, I can't remember. I've been going around talking to, all our neighbors and getting to know people in the evening time. And, a lot of people have told me that I don't know, but if somebody in this area took her, that's pretty much signing your own death warrant and being in this area. They would come.
I'm going to say something right now. All these people want to blame Jody Sue, Andy. Now Cam's saying maybe it was Marlena Crawford, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got their suspects, right? And it's true that Don Wells had a lot of registered offenders around his property close to Summer Wells, and they were friends with many, okay? But here's the thing, you guys. I know Don and Candace. I can tell just by everything that they've said and done I can tell by their character. And even Candace's Facebook post. Candace threatens people. She tried to threaten the CPS before. She said she was gonna, explode Walmart and all these things, right? And she got in trouble and was banned from one of the Walmarts. Well, they're violent people. They're not nice. They don't handle things as a nice parent, is what I'm going to say. And so, listen to me. If Don and Candace thought that Jody Sue or Andy, if they really didn't do this, if Don didn't and Candace didn't do this, take their child, don't you think that Don and Candace would be right on top of Jody Sue, Andy, Fred, Hill, all these people? So you never seen Don and Candace go after any of their neighbors, except they did go to Frank Light's house that day, that night. So I'm sorry, there's no other suspects but Don and Candace, because they don't even believe that their neighbors had anything to do with it. So these kind of people, they would have went after her, Andy, everyone that they thought, if they were really innocent and loved their child. But that's not the case here. They got a good story.
I don't know, but all we know is somebody definitely took her, and I'm starting to wonder if, because my wife doesn't know, about TikTok.
Oh, bull crap.
And I didn't either.
She does too, no.
Any of this stuff. I still don't know anything about TikTok.
Well, maybe you were marketing Summer on the Facebook and TikTok. Maybe your wife was. And, he acts like that was the only thing, that she was kidnapped and she was trafficked. That was his first belief. Not that Summer could have been stuck in something in a ravine, in the forest somewhere, got hurt and passed out, fell asleep, got lost. Nope. His first mind went to sex trafficking.
But she put pictures out there and was proud of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to think personally
if somebody's seen her on Facebook or TikTok and decided that they wanted her for herself, or or it's the sex trade thing, or I don't know. I don't know, but that's what I'm starting to lean towards personally. It's like the more I get to know people around this area and talk to them, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Sounds like you guys were the worst ones in the neighborhood.
Just in case
But you got all your little friends.
Or hear or whatever.
All these YouTube creators feeling sorry for you and going to defend you.
Do you even think that she's in Tennessee anymore at this point?
I don't know. I don't know where she's at. My daughter's already suffering wherever she is. I hope not.
She's already suffering.
Let's take really good care of her. But it's unlikely, though. I don't know who's got her. I wish to God we knew.
Precious girl. Okay, now.
Well, I think it's good I think it's good for people to hear you mad and upset at whoever, did this. Because usually, like last night when you came on our panel, you were like, when I asked you, what do you think should happen to whoever did this, you were kind of lenient. You know what I mean?
What you tell me, okay? All right, you tell me. Someone takes your kid and abuses them. You tell me, Ziggy, what do you tell them?
Oh, yeah, well.
Takes your kid and abuses them, Dan.
No way.
So beautiful.
I don't understand why it's so difficult for people to comprehend that some sorry, lazy son of a bitch come up here and stole our fucking daughter. Why is it so hard to comprehend? What the fuck is wrong with you fucking people?
I think it's because
Really?
He's getting mad.
people believe that.
Y'all are fucking nuts. Y'all are fucking crazy, man.
Okay, well,
How the fuck? I don't get it.
how did they know to come up there, though, at the perfect timing and everything? Do you think it was somebody?
Because they're fucking criminals.
Like you, Dan.
Well, yeah, but
You
like,
can't teach other people. If nobody wants anybody talking to their kids
Then let's talk about Summer. Where is she? She's probably being traded off for drugs and money, everything else. Yeah, I hope not either. But let's talk
There's
about
nothing you could have ever done or said or anything to prepare her for that.
why would my daughter for no other reason?
And what?
There's no other reason that someone. Why would someone take my daughter?
No other reason to take his daughter than to trade her for some drugs.
I didn't recognize it at the time. I was too young and stupid to understand, but looking back, I get it. California.
Okay, listen.
A lot of shit in my time. You guys
I'm
are trying.
wondering about if Allie and
Hold on. You guys
no, I just think that Allie is involved with some things like
I'm gonna break out. Oh, before it's all over with.
All his mug shots.
Nobody's gonna know who the fuck it was. You guys will.
Before you start believing him and feeling sorry for him, I just want you to remember this. He's been in prison most of his life for armed robbery, drugs, drug trafficking. He said he was in California and he was in Florida, and he knows how these trafficking places work. So he's trying to. He's such a bullshitter. Sorry. He tried to save some of these young kids. So I just wanted to talk about this for a minute. Another thing is, if Don or Candace, like I said, really felt that anyone did this to their child and really didn't believe them, you don't think they would go after him? I know for a fact they would go after him. And so anyways, if you want to watch that whole video, that was by LTL, and I'm just giving a disclaimer under the copyright laws. I'm just sharing a little portion of the video and giving credit to the person, and they did a good job. And I'm glad they put all that together to have Don's, what he has said. There's so many things that Don and Candace don't realize when they go to court. They've put on YouTube things that they've said. They will bring all that up in court. They will use videos and your words and everything else. So I hope Don and Candace realize that now. But it's a little bit too late. They've already shared so much stuff, so it doesn't matter whether they come on or not. Now, I heard that he said that he wasn't allowed on YouTube or something. They're supposed to stay off. So I guess it's to do with the kids, but who knows? But he doesn't seem to mind going online. And I just think that Don is still up to no good. I was waiting for it to come about. And $10,000. Come on, Don. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, you guys. I'm not trying to not be nice. But, the Lord calls us to love others and to be Christians. But, this guy has a really big record. And he's a manipulator, and he knows how to lie. And so many of them do, just like it was showing on that video, Orson West, Trezell and his wife there. Those kids that came up missing in California, and they haven't found their bodies yet. Those 2 little boys. But they do know that the parents let the siblings murder them, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is, those parents, they sounded so convincing. The boys went out to play and got lost, and here they knew all along for months that the children were dead. And so you cannot believe these people. And it's so embarrassing to see all these channels that are Don and Candace sympathizers. I'm sorry. If you want to feel sorry for somebody, you need to feel sorry for Summer Wells and those boys. They've been through a lot. And we don't even know where Summer is, and we have no idea what happened to her. But I believe something very bad happened to her, and I believe Don and Candace know. But I want to show you something, because I believe that the reporter room, this lady has figured it out, and I didn't even see this video. I guess I didn't pay attention. But this was like from a long time ago. Well, a while ago. I think it was 5 months ago or something. But it's called Exposing Don Wells. And it's the truth about Don Wells and Summer Wells' case. So I'm going to come over here and play this for a minute for you. And, under fair use.
It's hard to get a strong
as soon as the commercial's over,
when you can't see how they will actually perform.
We know Candace invites H to go fishing.
Listen to this.
Or maybe to a water park.
I'm going to put the words on here because you can see, these closed captioning people half the time don't get the words right. They put weird stuff on there, but still, it might help you a little bit. But yes, this was 4 months ago, and I would recommend that you go to her channel, subscribe, and watch this whole video. But let's go from here.
And he asks his mom, and she gives permission for him to go. We know H claimed that Candace told him Dawn had gone to
sorry.
work. taking the boys with him.
Oh, come on.
Disappeared. Was he at work the entire day or not? Cell phone service in that area is patchy, so GPS and cell phone tower pings may not be 100% accurate in this case. Don has been caught on tape multiple times mocking Candace, stating most recently, "I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't got none. She's going down." Why is Don so sure Candace is going down? Could Don have orchestrated Summer's disappearance to set up Candace? Hear me out. After
You know, listen now. It's really important that you pay attention. And I believe this lady knows now. I think she figured it out. I really do. And this makes sense, the theory. It really does. That Don set Candace up. He set her up because he was jealous. So listen how she talks about this, okay?
This H and Summer return to the hospital to pick up Grandis. They all go to Walgreens to get Grandis's prescription filled. And this is when H says Candace received a phone call from Dawn. H says he heard Dawn tell Candace that there had been a man on their property that day lurking around, and that he had been hanging around for a week or so.
Trying to touch the kids.
Was stalking kids.
No, trying to touch them.
Why would Dawn call Candace to say there was a stranger lurking around the Ben Hill Road property who was, quote, stalking kids? This is a major discrepancy that needs to be considered, since Dawn was supposed to either be at work with the boys,
That's
or
right.
the boys were left at home unattended to clean the house. Did Don have a motive to take Summer? In my opinion, he had 4 motives.
Okay, now listen. Why would Don say that there was a creepy guy on the property? Remember what Hunter said? That Don called while they were in the drive-thru at the Walgreens to pick up the prescription for Grandis. And he said Don called Candace and said there was a creepy guy on the property trying to touch the little kids. Well, how would Don know? He wasn't home. Supposedly, he said he wasn't home that day. But you know what that was? That was to set up Candace to let her know that some guy's there, and it, you know, that could be the guy that stole Summer, right? Some creepy guy. I think the creepy guy was you, Don. Okay.
Candace had called the police on Dawn in October of 2020 for a DV incident. To get the charges dropped, Dawn allegedly bought Candace a brand new red SUV. We know Dawn drove the SUV that day to work, not Candace, which is odd since Dawn works muddying drywall, and this is a dirty job. Why wasn't Dawn driving his work truck that day? In my opinion, it was because Don is a narcissist, and he didn't believe that Candace really deserved that SUV. The ultimate revenge on Candace would be to have her drop the charges on him, and then him set her up to control her by taking Summer away. This would account for the bizarre phone call that H overheard about the, quote, stranger on the property. 2, Maddie McCann money. Hear me out. We know that millions were donated by the public for the search.
Isn't it something? Dad wants 10,000 now.
Preschooler in the UK named Madeline McCann. The first thing the Wells family did was have a friend set up a GoFundMe page. Was this a preliminary effort to cash in? Later, we see Don going on multiple YouTube channels to promote himself, and ultimately setting up a YouTube channel to promote himself. He went on Dr. Phil, accepted every Facebook friend request, and pulled multiple publicity stunts, mostly at Candace's expense, in an effort to promote himself and his YouTube channel. 3, taking Summer was the ultimate way for Don to control Candace. He sets her up and tells her that if he's going down, she's going down, because she doesn't have an alibi. Then he proceeds to control the narrative of Summer's disappearance, catapulting himself into the spotlight. The spotlight this narcissist, in my opinion, believes he deserves to be in. Consider that narcissists have increased feelings of self-importance, and then consider Dawn's past behavior includes a massive criminal record, including multiple felonies in multiple states with hard prison time served. We've seen Dawn repeatedly be willing to devalue and demean Candace. We've also witnessed the awful name-calling.
Yep.
Do you think Dawn cares about Candace? Because he has devalued her over and over. 4. Dawn has a motive of jealousy. Dawn was arrested for brandishing a gun while intoxicated in October of 2020. He's been convicted of multiple felonies in multiple states. He served hard prison time. Meanwhile, he is wrapping himself up and repackaging himself as a God-fearing, church-going Christian.
Yeah.
However, we all know the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
That's right.
If there was something unsavory about Candace's behavior with H, and this is only my opinion, then jealousy would be a massive motive for Dawn. Do you really believe he valued Summer? We know narcissists tend to make decisions for others to suit their own needs, their own agenda. And we know narcissists are willing to use children to meet these unreasonable, self-serving needs. So picture this. Candace returns home after meeting up with H. What if Candace's version of events was mostly true? And hear me out. Candace states that she and her mother decided to plant flowers, that Summer joined them. Summer wanted to go into the house to play with her brothers, and Candace claims she watched Summer enter the house. Candace says she helped Candace with her knee brace and went back inside, where she said her 3 sons were and Summer was. She said that the boys told her that Summer went in the basement. When she called for Summer, Summer didn't answer, and she went down to the basement, and Summer had disappeared out of the inside of their house. If Candace's versions of events is mostly true, let's just say that maybe she left out a part about falling asleep or getting distracted for an hour. What if a jealous, angry Dawn was lying in wait for them to get home and took Summer, put her in the funky shed or somewhere else, and then returned to work? Why else would Dawn feel compelled to establish his alibi? He knew Candace was calling 911 because he told her to do it. We know this because both Dawn and Candace claim Dawn told Candace to call 911. Yet Dawn decided he was going to call 911 also. Why? Using another opportunity to gaslight and throw Candace under the bus, Dawn tells the 911 operator that Candace came back from a walk and found Summer missing. We know from Dawn's past that we cannot simply take his word for anything. He has multiple felonies in multiple states, and this includes breaking into people's houses. Can you imagine how scary it would be to have someone break into your house? But this is who Dawn really is, and this is what Dawn really is. Subscribe and leave me a comment.
Okay, and that's what I want to talk about. If you go back and look at my videos and what my theories are about Dawn Wells and Candace and what happened to Summer, I have said from the beginning that I believe that Dawn was laying up in that basement, that he was laying down there, and that if Summer came down there, whatever, and I believe his vehicle was hidden in the back because he showed us the back way that he came up. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You know, what if this is right? What if she's right? Think about this for a minute. Doesn't it make sense? Think about this. Dawn is already mad at Candace just a few months before Summer goes missing. She's got this guy living in the house, and I think Candace was jealous of Dawn And I think she was trying to make him jealous by having Jose there and telling him about it. Well, he come home, remember, and got in a fight and went to jail because, he was jealous. He wasn't happy about Jose being there. Well, so they got in a fight. Don went to jail. He buys Candace that vehicle. So she drops the restraining order. But I think it's interesting that what if Don was totally jealous and mad and wanted to get back at Candace for taking Hunter swimming? What if he knew that Hunter was with her and Protective Services was coming and he was ticked off? And what if he was jealous and he wanted to really make Candace look bad so she gets in trouble for this? I'm sorry, but it does sound like he could have did that he was making... Why else would he say that there's a creepy guy on the property? Because he was setting Candace up to think that some creepy guy came and stole Summer when he did it. She would not even pay attention if she was over in her mother's trailer getting stoned with Grandis, doing pills because she just got her pills that day. And we know, because different Allie and different people said that Candace would not go out and talk to the police when Summer went missing because she was stoned and drunk and she did not want to talk to them. And so her mother went out there, and Don. And Don wasn't even around, supposedly, but he's out there taking charge. But, I've been studying a lot on human trafficking. And Don seems to bring this up in every conversation. If you notice, he talks all the time about somebody having Summer up in a motel, and she's up in some motel effing some mother effer. Well, why would Summer be effing anybody? She's a little girl. She doesn't do that. But those were Don's words. Those were her father's words. But people like Chasing Truth, people like Cam and Allie, all these different people, they want to feel sorry for Don and Candace and say, oh, that's horrible to talk like that Summer, talking about Summer and sex and blah, blah, blah. But her own father is the worst of them all and says that she's up in a hotel room effing some mother effer for a little bit of crack cocaine because he does know, and he's a liar. And he plays stupid, and he plays like he's some kind of Christian man. And I hope you're listening to this out there, Don Wells. I think that TBI and Hawkins County know your story. I think they know what's up. And I think they know what's up with Candace. And I believe they know you're guilty and that you've done something wrong. And you've done something to Summer. You've sold her or given her to someone. And that's pretty horrible. I noticed that Hunter, I went back just to look at that interview with Chris McDonough, and Hunter said that they bought that outfit for Summer to go to Jonesboro. I really think that TBI and the police need to really check out Jonesboro more closely, get video footage from that day around, there. I don't know, but they were, Hunter said that they put that outfit. So why would they put that outfit on her in the car when that outfit was supposed to be to go to Jonesboro? So did they take her to Jonesboro, you guys? Did they hide her out temporarily away from the property till they could take her to Jonesboro? Did Candace and Don meet up and do this together? I have a feeling that they all exactly know what happened and they're all involved. So, I pray that Don and Candace they better not get those kids back, because I will be writing that Protective Services and letting them know. You know, that was a dangerous home for those children, very dangerous. And the people that they hung around with and those that were around. So if you feel sorry for Don and Candace, I'm sorry. You go ahead. But and you want to follow these channels that pity them and give money to them and help them, you go right ahead. But I do not help criminals. I never will. I'm not going to give donations. I'm not going to even give my time to listen to them or their stories so that I can make money on my channel. I would never do it because that's associating with criminals. And these people that are associating with him, you know, they might find themselves in some trouble for this and being involved in this. But, you know, I ran across a video the other day of Bullhorn, Betty, and Cher from Voices Behind the Wall. And Cher outright admitted in that video with them two together, she outright admitted that she basically got involved with Don because she was turning it all into TBI. So she's working with TBI. So Don, I hope you realize that. I hope you realize that even Benny has said that, and people have said that he was a narc for his neighborhood and his city. That he made deals with the cops. You know, when people get in trouble with the law, sometimes they become little narcs and they start telling on everybody else so they can get out of trouble. So, like if somebody has a criminal record and you know they do, but they're not really doing any time, you need to look at why, because they're usually tattletaling on somebody snitching. So, God needs to be careful of Benny. He needs to be careful of all these people. And, you know, my heart's for Summer Wells. That's it. I love that little girl. I've been trying to talk about her, keep her name out there, trying to look in different things, trying to think about what could have happened to her. You know, when people brainstorm together, sometimes they can come to different conclusions and they can come to the truth sometimes. And there are some good creators on YouTube who actually care about Summer Wells, but a lot of them are nothing but tragedy pimps. They're nothing but making money off of this case. And I'm not monetized, and I don't care. And I don't care how many subscribers I have, because that's not what's important to me. And I'm sorry I haven't been on here much, but, you know, unless there's something new in Summer Wells' case, I don't really have much to say about that. I want to do some other kids, but it feels like I can't really move forward until we solve what's going on with Summer Wells. So, anyways, I hope everybody's doing good. Please, if you're listening to this and maybe you have information about Summer Wells, she lived on Ben Hill Road in Tennessee. She is a 5-year-old little girl who turned 6 and she's been missing. When she went missing, she had very short hair, almost shaved, blonde hair, blue eyes, about 40 pounds. If you know any information or something that happened with Don and Candace and you know them, please call TBI, 1-800-TBI-FINE. You can message me and I can email you. We can, whatever, if you have any information you want to share something with me, please do. And, you know, I appreciate all your comments. I love all you guys. I hope you're doing good. Keep praying. Pray that the Lord will let somebody find Summer Wells, however that is, but that the Lord will let somebody that's out and about, somebody to find Summer Wells. Let's pray that that justice is done for her. You know, all these people want to get in focus on feeling sorry for Don Wells. Well, I don't feel sorry for you, Don Wells or Candace. I don't feel sorry for you. You were negligent, abusive parents, and you brought a lot of bad things in your children's life. And I don't feel bad for you. I think you should move on with your life and don't have any more kids and let your boys be raised by somebody that's decent, somebody that will give them education and a decent home to live in and food and not abuse and not drugs. So, and you two need to move on. I hope that, you're going to move on to a jail cell, a prison cell pretty soon, is what I hope. And I'm sorry if people think I'm mean. I'm not trying to be mean. God loves justice. If you don't face your crimes on earth, trust me, you're going to face them with God. And it would be better off to face them here because God is a lot harsher when it comes to these kind of sins. The Bible says that if you even offend one of these little ones or cause them to stumble, because their faces are always beholding angels in heaven, the Father in heaven. And if you even offend one of these little ones, Don and Candace, Jesus said it would be better that a millstone be hung around your neck, a big heavy stone, and be cast into the sea and drowned, than to hurt one of these little ones. So I feel sorry for you in the fact that you're not going to like what's going to come up the road for you in your future. And I think you should just both come clean so that maybe you'll find some mercy in the courts. That you say what happened to her. So anyways, everyone, I hope you all are well. I love you. And I hope you have a good week. And if you hear anything new, let me know. All right. God bless you. Miss you guys. All right. Good night. Keep praying for Summer Wells, okay? Bye. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing.